Good afternoon. Today is March 12th. It is 5 p.m. This is a meeting of the Streets and Sidewalks Committee. To my left is Councilman Brock Heath, and to my right is Councilman William Lutz. And we are here today to hear a staff presentation about a 5-year parking agreement with First United Methodist Church over our rented employee parking lot. And Mr. Titterington, are you going to present that?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We are asking to enter into a right-to-use agreement with the First United Methodist Church next to and west of the City Hall building. We have had an annual agreement with First Place since at least 2004. The previous contract that we had was a 3-year contract. It expired at the end of 2018, so it was a 3-year contract. The sum of all those 3 years was less than the $50,000. So at that time, given the rates that they had, we did not come and ask for authorization. Now we are looking at a successor contract with inflation. We negotiated a rate of $17,945 per year, and that covers 38 spaces for the employees, and then a one-time increase in 2020 to $19,740, with the final 4 years of the contract staying the same and with no increase. The value of that 5 years is well over the $50,000, hence we are asking for council authorization. In the memo, it does state that we would advertise for bid. That's wrong, incorrect language. We are asking to enter into that 5-year agreement and are not asking for emergency legislation.
Okay.
You're not?
We are not.
It is in the...
We are?
In the report you are.
Why?
Only because we owe them the back money.
Okay, we haven't gotten billed yet, but okay, we are asking for emergency legislation.
We're in arrears at the moment?
Not technically, since we haven't received a bill. So.
Oh, okay.
There we go.
I will address Ms. Yanks, since she's here, the questions that she did submit to the 3 committee persons up here, and I did respond to it. And Ms. Yanks, did you get my answers? Okay. Do you have any further? No. Okay. Very good. I don't have anything. I know that this is a convenience, so that, as I stated with the TDN request questions, that is a convenience for our employees, and it's something that we have done for years, not to add to the competition with the open parking spaces downtown for the businesses. I know that I read somewhere, I spoke to someone quite a while ago, that was an item they remembered for some reason. So we have kept our people off the street, so to speak, and out of harm's way. I don't have any other questions. Does anybody else rent from First Place? The chamber? Or, I'm sorry?
Not that we're aware of.
Not that you're aware of. Okay. I don't have any other questions, gentlemen. Either one of you two have questions? Do you have any questions?
Just the comment of we just went through all the parking, and we came up with a pretty decent solution, and I think the last thing we want to do is to put 38 more spaces out there to compete with all of that. And through this, we're able to support the church in First Place, and they do a phenomenal job with everything they do in the community as well. So it seems like a good thing to do to move forward.
I will state that I am a member of that church, and I do sit on the finance committee and a couple of other committees for it. However, I have not entered into any discussions with that or any decision-making processes with that entity. So I just want that out there in full disclosure. Mr. Lutz, do you have it?
Could you give us some insights on why we're going into a 5-year agreement when we had a 3-year agreement?
The agreement's not consistently been 3 years. We actually, knowing that we really didn't have anything to compare from now on, given that we are going with unpaid public parking, knowing that we We could compete if we felt like the requested rate was too high. We could, in fact, compete on-street as well as our adjacent off-street free parking. We didn't want to do that, and instead, when we talked to the church, we asked for the fifth year, because they started with a 4-year. We asked for the fifth year at the same rate so that we had some stability and some consistency. As part of the contract, though, if either party needs to, wants to get out of the arrangement, has other options, for example, the church's long-range plan may take them in a different direction, then I believe it's a 6-month window advance that either party can notify. So having that 5 years gives us that stability.
Are we aware of any plans to improve the parking lot? Is it in bad shape? Will it need to happen in the next 5 years?
They do. They have done maintenance to it periodically. Nothing going down to base and coming back up. Not aware of that, but we will talk to them when we sign the contract.
I have no further questions.
Anybody from council in the audience, any questions? Mrs. Baker is coming forward.
Does the 38 spaces cover everyone in City Hall that's here on a regular basis?
I believe it does, yes.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Okay. Yeah, I think at one point there were a couple that were not covered, but they are, everybody is covered for the past few years. Because, I think 3 years ago we did some renumbering, did some re-stenciling, and made sure that we had enough. Mm-hmm.
Anyone else? Questions, comments? All right, gentlemen, seeing none coming from the audience, what is your pleasure with this item?
Yeah, I'd say move forward with emergency.
Okay. All right, is unanimous with the committee to move forward, as staff is requesting with emergency and not going out to bid. Any other items to come before the Streets and Sidewalks Committee?
No, sir.
Tonight.
Then we are adjourned.